Okay, so up next, we've got setting up an artist business with NFTs in 2022, and I'd like to welcome Finn Costelloe on the stage. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hello, what's the crack? What's the buzz? Yeah, so my name is Finn. I'm just gonna say what I do right now, and then we're gonna get that out of the way, because these things really irritate me when they're just about a company or a person. So I'm an artist, as you can see there. I make a genre called Hyperpunk. I'm from the west of Ireland, and I work in a creator studio called Exhale, where we build unique website experiences for a lot of major brands and companies. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm also going to put on my glasses because I keep telling myself that I'm not blind, but it's getting worse by the day. Good afternoon, everyone. The funny thing about these talks in the NFT space is that it really is just a 10-minute spotlight to show your project to company. And I think a lot of us walk away from these things thinking, to be honest, I could have gotten more value out of a podcast and not an expensive ticket. And I've sat in the audience of these music NFT talks, and I find it extremely difficult to take value from them. So in this 10-minute talk, I'm going to attempt to do my very best to bring some insight around music NFTs and how they fit into the modern artist business. I'm not an expert, nor am I a public speaker, funnily enough, but I think that's why I might actually have some interesting insights. I'm an artist from the west of Ireland who dropped out of school to pursue a career in music. And I think because of me having these reality checks in the music industry so young, it actually put me ahead. I've been studying, learning, and testing concepts, strategies, and tools in the music industry since I was 15. So I was quite aware of how small the profit margins were and how broken the system really is. Now, I have no background in tech or finance. I can just about do multiplication. But that's the thing that blew me away about this space, was that everyone's so willing to guide you and teach you and make you understand it. And even I could understand it, which I thought was quite incredible. But that brings us on to 2020. So in 2020, there was this major redistribution of wealth. And an awful lot of people that value art and music are now wealthy. So for the first time in a very long time, we have a large market of people who want to put money in the pockets of artists. And if we as creative people can shape this industry and create compelling enough concepts, projects, and offerings for this new market, it might not only be the most lucrative for artists, but also the most valuable for fans. In the past year, we've seen many different examples. We have Sound.xyz, where independent musicians have earned over $3.5 million in 1 year. We have a more local example here in the UK. We have a platform called Serenade, who've sold thousands of music NFTs. So there's no doubt that there is collectors there. They just need something compelling to collect. And that's kind of what I'm going to talk on here, is like, what is the longevity of this, and how can you build as an artist to be the next major mainstream superstar? Music NFTs are not here to replace streaming, stop festivals, or destroy record labels. Music NFTs are a brand new market within the music industry that does things differently. When I say differently, I mean more ethically, more thoughtfully, and more safely. We're talking about a market of music where 10-minute long songs are appreciated, where there is no skipping ads, and there is the option to do it all without the middleman. So in the music industry, there are many different markets and ways that artists get paid. We have streaming, record sales, publishing, touring, sync, and brand deals. But then, sorry. Although every artist is told to use all of these different markets and ways, most artists don't. But when I ask you which artists do, it's the superstars. So the superstars are dominating all of these markets at an extremely high level. And NFTs are a new market. They're not here to replace a current market. They're here as a new market and a new way of doing things. I think that's what's so exciting. And that's how we need to think of it. So that's how it fits in and how it should be perceived. But what can you do with music NFTs? I think we're very familiar with the concept of selling a one-of-one or a set of editions as music NFTs with a marketplace platform like Sound, Catalog, or Serenade. I don't think that's extremely hard to wrap your head around. It's the same behavior as collecting vinyl, but it's digital and verifies that you're a super fan of the artist, and I love it. And we need these platforms as curators, tastemakers, innovators, and onboarders into the space. But if we're talking about building the next generation of superstar acts with NFTs, then there surely has to be more to the picture. Music doesn't stand alone. Music has a deep connection and relationship with the cultures of fashion, gaming, and nightlife culture, not to mention many others. And you don't need me to tell you that Playboi Carti, Travis Scott, Kanye West, A$AP Rocky have used fashion as a defining pillar in the culture of their growth. Same with Doja Cat, who's used TikTok, fashion, and music to not only be an artist, but be a public figure and an icon to some people in a certain space. And these kind of guidance of different cultures and seeing things more holistically is how an artist actually grows and how it actually has a real massive impact on the world. So what do I believe it looks like in the coming years? First and foremost, I believe we see the return of the artist website. I believe the most successful artists will treat their artist project like a startup with their own website and own smart contracts that they own. That the NFTs they release on their own platform will be interoperable with all major metaverses and social media platforms. You will be able to buy an NFT from the artist's website, and having that NFT in your wallet will allow you to gain access to unique experiences across Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Spotify, as well as all metaverses. And by you owning the NFT, you're guaranteeing that the algorithm will show you the artist that you love's content. Owning an NFT from an artist would be like a permanent follow button that crosses over both digital and physical worlds. And this will give you the perks of the brands that the artists also partner with. So if an artist connects with a certain brand or a certain startup, you will have bonuses from that other brand and partnership. And I think that's where we see utility actually playing a little bit more excitingly than what we currently have. I do not believe that behind the scenes videos, free tickets to shows, or unreleased demos are the forms of utility that fans actually want. They do not work at scale. In the instance of free tickets to shows, crews still need to be paid, venues still need to be hired, and traveling costs still need to be covered. And just because the artist might see some money from it, none of their team will. Setting up a page with a fiat currency paywall that fans pay for on a monthly basis is still a better model for those products. And a great example of this is an artist called Mike, who makes over $140,000 a month off of a subscription service to listen to his unreleased music and products and podcasts. By using these style of products as utility for NFTs, we are truly underselling the capabilities of NFTs. I don't believe the forms of utility that this new market will find valuable have been created yet, but that's what's so exciting. We need to be preparing for a new creative industry and not trying to mold it into the one we currently perceive. But the artist-owned website and smart contract still doesn't solve all of our problems as artists. It simply offers a safe and secure launchpad for us to build from. As artists, we still have the battle for discovery, and I believe artist growth and discovery will come from an artist being able to tell compelling stories in short-form content, partner with the brands and startups that align with that artist's values, touring both physically and digitally, and using the platforms and technology on offer to tell better stories as we move into a new music industry. I think the really, really important part of that is telling stories. We're not seeing enough of that in the NFT space currently in music. We're seeing a lot of things being sold, a lot of hype, but if you want to engage a group of people or engage a community, you need to be telling stories to the highest degree. So what can you do as an artist or a member of an artist team? Brainstorm the story that the artist is telling. Brainstorm how that story can be told. Research the platforms, brands, projects, and people that align with that story, and go deep on those specific communities. Think about partnerships and think about collectors, and what you can do to introduce them to your story. Right now, if you're preparing for what's to come, right now we're all preparing for what's to come. And if you can do that part right, you have a great shot at being a major artist. Thank you very much.